Hello to my fellow glorious Gaians. Thank you for joining me, Amber, on my channel, Guidance Through Gaia, where I do tarot pick-a-card readings. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope that you find something that resonates today. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for giving me another shot to read your energy. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, my contact information is in the description box down below. Send me an email, and I'll send you a list of my services. So today we're looking at what does the person on your mind miss about you? I am leaving this open for all types of connections, right? We could be talking about a previous lover. We could be talking about a friend you haven't seen in a while, maybe had a falling out with. We could be talking about a partner that, is maybe just away at work, right? Or kind of like what they're thinking about you when you're not around, even if your relationship is, strong and healthy and thriving. Could be talking about a parent, a coworker, maybe even for some of you, somebody who's passed. Okay, and this is intended to be very warming, but also understand that when we have readings like this, we're just open to whatever message comes through. And so, depending on the type of relationship, oh my goodness. Sorry, my dog stepped on the remote control on the couch. But depending on the type of relationship that you had and the type of person this individual has, there could be some messages that may not be the most satisfactory. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to get into that just more. Also understand this is a general reading. So if you feel that a message doesn't apply to you, obviously don't put too much weight on it, These are things that should make sense at some point, even if you hadn't originally considered it. Now, we are going to be using tarot to look at what this person misses about you. Then I'm going to pull some of like these cards that are from like a dream dictionary deck kind of thing. And we'll look at, what they think about, what kind of like what reminds them of you or memories that they think of with you. And then we'll get another mini tarot deck and just kind of look at a very brief message that they may have to you. So we have 3 stones to choose from. We have the ruby and fuchsite. We have the tumbled grape agate. And then we have the lapis lazuli. Okay, so go ahead, choose your pile or piles, and I'll see you there. Bye. All right, group number 1, you chose the ruby and fuchsite. This is one of my favorite stones. It's really cool if you hold a black light up to it. This is going to be your reading about what the person on your mind misses about you. So we're using the Cosmic Cycles Tarot to get that information. What does this person miss about group number 1? What does the person on group 1's mind miss about them? We've got Temperance. We'll lay out several cards first before we start talking about it. We've got the 8 of Cups. What does the person on group 1's mind miss about them? We've got the Four of Swords. The Six of Swords in reverse. The Sun. And the Eight of Swords. So, group number one, I feel that you are or you were somebody who offered an escape for this person, but like a healthy escape, right? If they were going through, and I'm just going to talk about past tense, but if this is somebody who's currently in your life, but maybe you just don't have as much contact with them, you know, just take it as it applies to your situation. But this person feels like, you know, when they were going through a rough time, you knew how to take them out of that environment. You were somebody who knew how to talk them through their struggles, and somebody who, if maybe this person would like be a workaholic or hyperfixate on difficulties or isolate themselves, you were the person who was showing up with coffee, who's like, get in, bitch, we're gonna go. You know, you're the person who goes out for like a drive with them. Maybe comes over and helps them clean their house. Somebody who would take them out for a movie, or, you know, even just like a walk, right? Like, even if I could see maybe if this was like a workplace situation, where maybe you would go over to like their cubicle or their office or something and be like, let's go for a break. Shit is crazy right now. I can see you're stressed, and we're going to go get some fresh air. And you really offered balance to their life. And so that's probably something that they haven't achieved for themselves. Or at the very least in the past they were struggling with. If they have grown and learned how to balance more of their life, they miss doing those things with you, right? Like, this could even be a bestie that has moved to, you know, a city 2, 3, 4 hours away, a different state, a different country, a different province, and maybe you guys just don't get to see each other as much as you used to. And, you know, they're sitting there thinking like, oh my God, I wish group number one was here, because like I'm feeling stressed right now and I can calm myself down from it, but it just felt so much better when group one was with me. Like, they just have a light to them. They have a calming energy about them. You know, and you just have, you're very relaxing, group number one. They could miss doing yoga with you if the two of you ever, or any kind of like exercise or meditative practices, if the two of you ever shared that kind of connection. Photography, or just going out and enjoying nature. You know, I'm seeing people like going out on walks and taking pictures together, posting them up to Instagram, picking flowers, just taking time away from the hustle and bustle of the city, and appreciating the stillness of life. Okay, so let's look at some specific things that remind them of you, or that some memories. that they think of when they think about you, or sometimes just kind of drift off to. Yeah, they felt like they didn't have to do it alone. So I think even now they're probably better at managing their emotions or balancing, you know, their stress levels. But being with you, they enjoyed it more because they didn't have to do it alone, right? If they've moved somewhere else, or maybe like the two of you were college roomies, I'm taking all those, you know, and or college besties, and you've kind of moved off into different cities, they might not have the same quality of friendships. If this is like an ex-partner, they really miss that like calming, nurturing side of you. And look at that park. We were literally just talking about nature and parks. If this is a work situation, they don't have like a work bestie that matches up to you. Or even like a sibling situation for some of you. You might have a younger sibling who's still at home. We've got frog, and we've got dancing. So we have a lot of wildlife here and a lot of nature. Definitely the wildlife and nature, the natural world makes them think of you. You probably had like picnics together or walks out in the park together, maybe morning or evening jogs. The ego makes me think of strength, courage. Can we get something attached to this eagle card here? We've got the Three of Wands in reverse and the Devil here. You haven't let anything hold you back. There was probably, you might have stood up for them in a situation where they didn't know how to stand up for themselves. Or you showed them how the inability to separate from their pride or their addictions or like workaholic tendencies was really inhibiting them from growing. There's a lesson here that you taught them, either like that you actually spent time like educating them about, or that you demonstrated in your own life. Like maybe they're seeing, if this is a younger sibling, they're seeing how you're thriving outside of the home, or at least how they perceive you to thrive. And so they're starting to realize that, you know, things the way they are at home aren't necessarily how they're supposed to be. It's not normal. It's not healthy. And that could have helped them because maybe they were trying to, maybe they felt like they were holding too much responsibility for keeping the home life stable. And through watching you leave and pursue your life outside of the home, they're seeing like, oh, it's not me. Like, it's not my fault. You know, like that song where it's like, the house don't fall when the bones are good. And they see that the bones aren't good, right? Regardless of the situation, regardless of what kind of connection this is or was, there's just this memory of seeing you, like the strength you had to leave a circumstance and spread your wings and evolve more than what was holding you back. And that could have just been like just your personality overall. Or there could have been a very specific circumstance. Can we get Park here? The Lovers in reverse. So I feel like the two of you may have gone out for walks or gone out into nature when life was just really tough. And it could have been an environment that helped this person think more about the path that they wanted to take or do problem solving. You know, it's kind of like the idea of if we stay in a chaotic environment, or we stay in an environment where it's kind of like stagnant, even like, not that there's anything wrong with the environment necessarily, it's just like maybe you knew this person needed to get out a little bit, so their mentality could shift, or some of the stress could be relieved off of them. And they're really thinking about when they go to parks, or they see forested areas, or just experience nature. They're really thinking about how spending that time with you out there helped them clear their head and helped them see what paths they could choose for themselves, and maybe where they were being stuck. The Frog here. To me, the Frog is like an energy of fun. It's also about opportunity to me. And then we've got the Five of Cups in reverse. They're thinking about memories that they think about are times when you made them feel included. Especially like if this is a sibling and you're the older sibling, they're thinking about how you took them under your wing, how you included them, you made things fun for them. You didn't always push them away. And how even like they're thinking about times that may have seemed difficult, whether this was any kind of relationship, right? Like even at a workplace where maybe they're stressed out and you prank them, or, you know, you say, hey, like you want to have lunch together, and you go out for lunch, or you DoorDash or whatever it is. You were able to really make situations lighthearted and easier for them to just kind of relax in. And with dancing, the two of you, there could be certain songs that remind them of you. If you guys did like to go dancing, this is absolutely like a core memory of theirs, or one of their favorite memories of theirs. Like, especially like if you guys went out to the bar, or if you're just being goofy as kids, or there was a wedding. They're thinking about like dancing at someone's wedding. The Knight of Wands in reverse. They were scared at first, though. Like, they were nervous, and you may have pulled them out onto the dance floor. Or you may have taught them, taken them to a dancing class. And even though they were really nervous, they had a lot of fun with you. Absolutely. Like, they miss you a lot, group number one. If this is somebody who's not in your life anymore for whatever reason, they appreciate they appreciate the balance that you brought to their life and the ways that you included them. If this is somebody who is still in your life, but like maybe at a distance, or like adult life has just kind of interfered with how much you guys can spend time together or communicate. Like, they really wish their sad things aren't the way that they used to be. I mean, I think they'll know that they'll be okay. If they would want to spend more time with you, if possible, but like, they also have a lot of respect for you, and they appreciate the ways that you're still there for them. And They either are just like if this is somebody that you used to work with that you don't work with anymore, they're really hoping to find like a work bestie who has kind of like a similar energy to you. If this is like a younger sibling, they really hope that they can find a friend where they can have that same kind of bond. You know, I mean, obviously nobody will ever replace you as a sibling, but it seems like they have a lot of love and respect for you, and just hope they can meet somebody who has the same kind of like kindness and compassion and zeal, spontaneity, fun, humor, just all of that as you do. And if this is like a lover, if this is like a current lover, you know, and maybe they're like at a distance from you for whatever reason, like for work or for family, like extended family or something, they really wish that you were there with them. And they're kind of like using your voice, your memory, your words, as an anchor, like in between the times when they're probably able to communicate with you. If this is a past person, they really, they're sad that the connection, at least this part of the connection, is gone, and that they're trying to learn their own stability. They don't feel like they're quite as skilled at it as you. They feel like they're still holding on to stress a lot, and it's kind of like they're trying to figure out how did group number one do it. Like, it's like your tactics were kind of a puzzle to them. They may even be hoping, I feel like this person, if it's like a past lover, I don't feel like they're trying to find someone who can substitute that energy. Like, I don't feel like they're hopping around or like trying to put that role on somebody. I think they have learned a little bit, and they're trying to like instill it within themselves. But there's also this kind of feeling like, man, like group one was it. Like, I'm not gonna find someone like group one again. Like, okay, so you know those TikToks where they're like, there's that Halsey song where like, and someone's like, you know, when I'm about to lose it, the only person who can stop me or whatever, and like, a lot of times it's a joke, but like they'll go to punch a wall and like someone or something pops up. Like, you are the person that they refer to in that, where it's like, this is the only person who could stop. Like, I'm not finding this person anybody else, so I might as well get my shit together for myself, you know. But so a message that they have for you. We've got the Queen of Coins in reverse. The Three of Cups. The Eight of Swords. And the Seven of Cups. So I would say they don't, the message for you is that they're trying. You know, they don't feel like they've got it all figured out yet, and they don't feel like they've grown in this skill, but they're really trying, and they appreciate the times that you were there for them when they were really insecure or didn't have much to their name, or were kind of like, you know, what we would call like green, wet behind the ears. You know, if they were a new employee and you just kind of like tried to be courteous to them and try to make them feel welcome. You know, if you were if they're a younger sibling and you were just, you know, being a good older sibling and trying to care for them and teach them, and support them. You know, if this is like an ex-lover, you know, they're admitting like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And that may have caused some stress on the connection. They're really sorry about that. But they are, like, they appreciate the way that you showed up in the relationship. And it's something that they use as motivation to keep growing. Like, there's that quality about you that they'll always admire, and they are trying to reach for themselves. If this is somebody that like you're still in contact with, but maybe you just haven't had as much contact with, or they're away for like business or family, as we mentioned, they are feeling unsettled right now. They're really stressed, and they're just going to be so happy to like spend time with you. Like, they're literally excited to get home and come see you, or get back to work and see you if they're like on vacation from work or something. It's kind of like you're locked in their brain, right? And a lot of times I see, obviously, the Eight of Swords is about like self-imprisonment and stuck ideologies, but in this instance, I'm kind of taking it as like who you are and the energy you've brought to the connection, and the things that you've taught them are just like, they're locked in. They're not things that they're going to forget. And they're very important to them, right? And there's this feeling of being able to expand what they thought possible in the past. Expand themselves mentally, emotionally, expand in their skills, expand in the connection with you. To me, it's kind of like there was this seed that was planted in them, you know, and it has to start from a place of stability and practicality. But because that's where it started, it allows them to dream more, and it allows them to have more excitement, more passion, more connection in life. And they really feel like they owe a large part of that to you. So group number 1, I hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be part of the family and have not done so, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. I do also offer private readings. If you're interested, just look for my contact information in the description box down below. Send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. All right, bye. Hello, group number 2, you chose the tumbled grape agate. So this will be your reading on what the person on your mind misses about you. That's the 3rd time I had to record this intro because I kept mixing up my words. So this person probably feels a little tongue-tied, maybe a little embarrassed. There could be pride issues, or maybe they're just not good at expressing themselves. They could also just be kind of awkward or clumsy, you know? But what we're going to do is we are going to lay out the cards and get the details of what they miss about you. Okay, so what does the person on group 2's mind miss about group 2? What does this person miss about group 2? We've got the Page of Cups. And we've got the Seven of Cups. We've got the Lovers. We've got the Sun in reverse. What does this person miss about group number 2? And we've got the 9 of Cups in reverse. Actually, I want to get one more. What does the person on group 2's mind? And then we've got the World. There's a lot of water energy here. Group number 2. The feeling that I'm getting is they missed the opportunities. They miss the emotional connection that they had with you. You know, this person right here is sitting by themselves, creating a pot, you know, look at all these different pots or cups that they've crafted. And it's kind of like, it's peaceful, but it's solemn. I feel like there were plans that the two of you may have had together. And so this feels like a connection where the two of you are no longer in contact, or the connection just isn't as strong as it used to be, right? So maybe this is like a childhood friend where the two of you used to be super tight, or even like a college friend, somebody that you were very close to, where you had all these goals and these plans, like we're going to travel the world together, we're going to live together, we're going to do all these fun things. Or it could be like this is an ex-partner where the two of you would talk about having a family together, moving in together, getting married. And being with you made them feel like there were possibilities. They felt like in the connection between the two of you, they saw just this beautiful future of like love and adventure, and creation. And they're really, really stuck on that. There's kind of this feeling like they're not happy on their own. And you felt like you completed them. You may have been somebody who comforted them in very difficult times. They don't feel like they know how to ask for emotional support from other people. They felt safe with you. And even when they had really difficult days, or like they were in a dark mind frame, like if they were struggling with depression or whatever, it was like being able to talk with you or being around you brightened their day. They miss what they thought was possible. If you guys spent the night together, whether like, sleepovers, as friends, or, sharing a dorm room together, sharing an apartment together, or just spending the night as like a couple, they really miss those. There's a sense of comfort that came with spending those nights together with you, having a companion. And look, like, we've got this couple down here that's got an arm wrapped around her by this gentleman. They're both, you know, they've both got, both of these couples have animals. It was just like, there's a piece that you brought, and a piece where it was kind of like, they felt like they finally had something that they didn't think could ever truly belong to them. You know, like a friend that understood them, or a lover that they could build their life with. And I think when they felt like they failed in situations, you still celebrated them. You lifted them up. And they just, even though this Page of Cups, like normally I look at the Page of Cups as a very positive, you know, idealistic card, I just keep getting drawn to it because it's kind of like they're at the, well, back at the drawing board now. Almost like without the strength of the connection they had with you, whether you guys just don't talk as much anymore, or whether you're broken up and don't talk at all, or you just aren't together, they kind of feel like they don't know where to go now. They miss having a direction, right? That's what this connection offered them. They had a direction when they were so close to you. Wow. Okay. And I think they miss going out to eat with you, especially if there was like snack treats involved, or like you know, if you guys had like a favorite restaurant, or if you were in the habit of like checking out different restaurants. They miss feeling emotionally understood. They miss feeling emotionally creative and hopeful. And they just, I keep getting the feeling of like a future. They miss their future. So especially like if this was a friend, this could be somebody who is very like introverted, very shy, somebody who doesn't know how to put themselves out there. You know, if this is an ex-partner, then they may not have had a connection like this beforehand. They may feel like there's never going to be an opportunity for a connection like this to occur again in their life, or that there was something so special and unique about this connection that it can't be replicated. Okay, so let's get what reminds them of you, or like what kind of memories do they have when they're thinking of you. We've got the tomato. For some of you, I'm thinking of like differences in pronunciation, like if the two of you had different ways to pronounce words, like a different accent. Tomato, tomato. Waltz. Bed. For some of you where this is like a romantic partner, an ex-romantic partner, they miss sleeping next to you. They are also thinking about like smexy time. We've got soap, and we've got island. If you guys took any vacations together, you know, they're definitely thinking about those, having memories of those. They could also be thinking of, like, again, if you guys were intimate, they intimately involved. They could be thinking about any like showers you took together or baths. If this is like a friend situation, they're thinking about the nights that you spent together, when you stayed up and talked, shared stories, like binge watched series, laughed. But also you may have like shared beds and it was really comforting to them. Or like maybe like if you guys were roommates or whatever, if they were having a hard night, like you would let them crawl into your bed, or like if you were having a hard night, you'd go crawl into their bed or something like that. Let me get a clarifier for the tomato card. Got the High Priestess in reverse with the Five of Pentacles, and that's so interesting because this tomato is has 5 tomatoes on it. They really felt like this is somebody who probably felt for a lot of their life, or at least, around the time that they had met you, that they just didn't fit in, and you showed them like how they were a part of the branch, right? You made them feel included. You made them see like how they belonged, or you made them feel like they belonged. The Waltz. We've got Temperance in reverse, the Three of Cups in reverse, the Nine of Wands upright, and the Queen of Wands upright. You may have stood up for them against others, or pulled them away from a toxic situation, from people who were harmful to them. They really see you as a leader. You taught them something. And not like you just showed them how to do it, but you laid it out step by step for them. And whatever that is, and I feel like it has something to do with communication with others, right? Like how to relate to others, how to stand up for themselves, giving them a different perspective. If there were any like cultural differences, you were this outlet for them to understand the culture better. We got the bed with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. There's just a level of comfort where they didn't feel like there was anything demanded of them. Kind of like you just accepted them for who they were. Like as a friend, or even as like a romantic partner, they may have felt like they had to put on a show for other people to be accepted, and you were just like, no, like you are who you are, and like that's the person that I want you to be. Like I don't want you to perform. This just allowed them to like be themselves, be goofy, be weird, be vulnerable, sometimes be ignorant, and you accepted them for all of that. If this is like if they're thinking physically, they're thinking about like how they enjoyed and they treasured the experience because of authenticity. It was like a genuine connection. You weren't with them because of like their power or their position or because of how hot they were or what you thought you could get out of it. you know, you were with them physically and intimately because you valued them, and like they didn't have to perform for you. Like it was just more about engaging in the act because it was a connection between the two of you. And I think it's important to notice, like, it's the Six of Pentacles, right? And we don't look at Pentacles as like an emotional card, but I think this person may feel like love is transactional or relationships are transactional. And this was kind of like their first time experiencing where that wasn't the case. They could also be thinking about all of the things that they never got to do with you that they wish they would have tried or that they would have had the ability to experience. Okay, soap. The Three of Swords. You really cleaned out some of their wounds, right? If there was a specific conversation where you comforted them or you like you illuminated the reality of a situation, like they were able, like you were able to talk about an experience they shared with you from a more objective perspective, then they really reflect on that. This could also be like if the two of you ever got into a fight or you kind of held them accountable for something, they think about that because they start to see more clearly what it is that you meant by that. And then Island with the Ten of Swords in reverse. Yeah, if you guys went on any vacations or had any time alone together, away from like the rest of the world, they really reflect on that. Could have gone to like an amusement park, right? Or just had like a girls or a guys night, away from like the kids and the family, or you could have literally gone on vacation together somewhere, and they tend to think about that a lot and, you know, remember how relaxing of a time it was. So let's get a quick message from them to you. What message does this person want to give to group number 2? Oh, that's honey. Okay, we're going to go with the Six of Cups in reverse, the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Coins in reverse, the Four of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Swords, the Seven of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ten of Wands in reverse. Okay, so let's go take this all in. I'm getting a very distinct message here. For some of you where this connection had a falling out, whether it went like absolutely no contact or it just lessened because of an argument between the two of you, they really want you to not hold on. Don't reflect too much on things that were said or done in the past by them. They didn't know how to communicate properly. And they were impatient, they were frustrated, and they just kind of said things. They released all of pent-up emotions, And I'm getting the feeling of like it was just careless, right? It was just careless. And they don't want you to hold on to that. They don't want you to hold on to that at all. They don't want you to be held back by any pain or regrets, because they know that there are so many opportunities out there for you. And they want you to know that they have faith in you, and that they know that you're going to do great things, and that burdens from life will be released soon. Because they really think, like, they see you as somebody who is going to be very heavily blessed by the universe. And they just, like, no matter what was said in the past, they want you to know that, like, good things are coming your way. And that they're sorry. I'm just going to try to get a different message. If for another scenario, I'll leave this lengthy message as it is. Any other messages that want to come through? Oh my gosh. Still. Okay, we've got the Star, the Four of Coins in reverse, the Knight of Cups in reverse, and the Knave of Cups in reverse. What's that Star card about? The Nine of Cups. Then the Knight of Cups in reverse. It's kind of weird to have these cards when we have such a very beautiful, hopeful card here. The Knave of Coins. And the Ten of Cups. So I feel like this person is... They're trying to be optimistic about finding happiness or about creating happiness. The World in reverse and Temperance in reverse. Oh, okay. And they're really trying to let go of the belief that happiness is found outside of themselves, and that they're incomplete. They don't feel that way right now, but they're working on it. You know, they're taking the necessary measures to work on building a stronger foundation for themselves and developing that, like, emotional stability. They're just kind of still in a position where they're a little bit confused about, like, what happiness looks like to them. But I think you did the connection with you, regardless of what kind of connection it was, really gave them an indication of like what they value in stability, like what stability looks like for them. And so now it's just kind of like a puzzle where they're slowly putting it together. But they're trying. They're trying very hard to gain that level of emotional independence that they haven't been able to feel before. All right, so group number 2, I hope that this reading was helpful. If you resonated, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be a part of the family and haven't done so, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. If you are interested in a personal reading, just look for my contact information in the description box down below. Send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. All right, bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose the lapis lazuli stone. So this will be your reading on what the person on your mind misses about you. Okay. Like I explained in the intro, we're going to be using a tarot deck, first of all, to give us information about what this person misses about you. Okay, we've got the 4 of Cups in reverse, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, and I'm going to lay all the cards out and then we'll get into it. What does this person miss about group number 3? The Lovers, the 8 of Swords in reverse, the 7 of Cups in reverse. What does the person on group 3's mind miss about them? And the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So right away, I feel like some of y'all had vent sessions, right? Like this person could tell you anything, and I feel like they could get unhinged about it. And you might have accepted them for their past. There are probably a lot of deep wounds that this person experienced growing up, or you know, they may have had troubled relationships with their family. They could have been in like the adoptive system or the foster system and had some traumatic experiences there, or not known like their birth family and gone through the grief of, you know, wondering who they were, why they were given up. This person could have gone through some very difficult experiences in like school or in the workplace where they were like very bullied. They just weren't accepted. This could be somebody who has like who's like neurodivergent, you know, or is very different from most people because of like their style or their interests, the way that they communicate. And like you were very accepting of them, like you embraced all of their differences, or you didn't shy away from them because of their past, what happened, you know, if they struggled with like addiction, either before you knew them or like when you knew them, or if you still know them, you know, they felt like unconditional love from you, unconditional acceptance. And they could tell you anything. This person may be relatively private. I think they're like just worried about people judging them. Maybe getting into trouble for some people. But they really felt like they could tell you anything. So like late night phone calls, they really miss those. Chats at work, they miss those. Lunch breaks at school, they miss that. They could really confide in you, and like they knew you could be trusted. They don't trust a lot of people in their life, group number 3. But you were somebody who showed them time and time again that you could be trusted, that you cared about them for who they were, that you wouldn't do anything to hurt them, that you would keep their secrets safe. There's a lot of secrecy here that they were able to share with you, and they don't have the ability to do that with a lot of people. What's the 7 of Cups in reverse about? The Queen of Wands in reverse. I also feel like you guys may have had like fantasies that you shared, you know, things that you knew were never really going to happen. But you might have shared a lot of talks about like, you know, who's your celebrity crush, and you know, just kind of laugh about like how you would go and you would meet the celebrity and like woo them and seduce them, how to commit like, you know, the perfect crime, things that you knew both of you were out of the realm of possibility, but you really enjoyed just pretending. Even talking about like your ideal lives, you know, if time wasn't a constraint, money wasn't a hindrance, what kind of things would you do with your life? You guys may have done like vision boards together, I'm getting, for some of you. Shared like Pinterest boards, maybe had like lists where you jotted down like your top celebrity crushes or your top 10 vacation goals, or, you know, if you could have any job in the world. There's just this feeling of like not being bound by what was physically logical and possible and feasible, but really embracing like in moments what you guys wanted. Like if you could have your ideal life, what would that look like? If you could have your ideal partner, what would that look like? For some of you, you might have done like fan fiction. You might have like shared fan fiction with each other, or written fan fiction together, and they really miss that. Or, you know, read books and you guys just spent all day or all night just gushing about them, talking about them. Okay. Who you thought was dreamy, what you thought the author should have done, creating up crazy scenarios, role playing. Some of you guys might have really been into role playing, whether that would be like text role playing or like LARPing, going to cosplay conventions. Yeah, the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Can I get a clarifier on that? And the Judgment in reverse. This person may have had physical limitations or some kind of limitations. If they struggled or you know, whatever, with any like mental disability or physical disability, things that they maybe couldn't have, like, there may have been mental or physical limitations as to, like, why they couldn't do certain things. And you never judged them for that. You know, if this person became, like, if they were very chronically ill, or they ended up hospitalized, you still visited them. You still made time for them. You still showed them that they were important. And so for some of you, this could be an energy of somebody who's passed on and who's just really thankful for that. You know, that you gave them space in a world that only gave them limitations. Wow. For others of you, if this is somebody you don't keep in contact with anymore, they're just really thankful that they had that kind of connection with you, because they, like, not everybody is that selfless, right? Like, I watched a video of a woman who got married, you know, and she talked about all the ways, because she's like very chronically ill, and so all the ways that she made sure she was accommodated, you know, because her wedding is supposed to be an enjoyable experience. And so there were a lot of things about the wedding that were untraditional. She didn't stand, I think, for, like, any of it. She spent most of her time away, actually, from, like, the wedding party, where she was, like, in a room, and, you know, her husband and some close friends, and because of, like, certain allergies or intolerances of her body, there was a very specific, like, diet that the food had to maintain. You know, and it was a very unique experience when you think about what traditionally weddings typically involve, and, like, how physical they usually are, how social they usually are, how demanding they usually are of the couple getting married, and how she didn't really adhere to any of that. And I remember someone in the comment who was like, they acted like they were happy for her, but they also made this comment that was like, oh God, I just can't imagine how exhausting it would be to, like, be somebody's partner, having to go through that all the time. You know, and, like, dude, fuck that person. You know, how dare they come into someone's space and make it about themselves, and try to make the poster feel like a burden on somebody else, you know? And I'm sure this woman has had to deal with that kind of behavior so often that it's ridiculous. And I'm sure she posted it knowing that there would be comments like that, but it's still unacceptable behavior on that person's part, you know? And so I feel like this person could even be, like, in a care facility, in a group home setting, something like that. And I just feel like they're really reflecting. So, like, even if you guys are still in contact, you know, it's just like the contact may not be as frequent as it used to be. They just recognize, like, how special you are, because you don't judge them. You don't treat them any differently. You see them as a human being and not as a diagnosis. Okay? Or even, like, if this is somebody who did struggle with addiction, like, you never saw them as, like, a diagnosis. You saw them as a human being. with a condition, yes, but that condition didn't define them. That was just a part of their, experience in life and a journey that they were on. Oh my goodness. So they really miss that, because not everybody is like you. Group number 3. Not everybody has that kind of compassion and that kind of human decency. If you were like a foster parent or something to this person, you stood out from other foster parents in their life. You were the one who treated them with respect and with love and loyalty and compassion, and not as like a project or, a delinquent or a burden or anything like that. And there's a safety that you were able to provide that, especially like if they're in adulthood now, or if they're still in the foster system or something like that, they don't have that same sense of safety. And so that if they're still connected to you, you do still offer that to them, or like your memory really helps them feel more safe, right? Okay, so let's look at things that remind them of you, or that they jury. Okay. Or memories that they think of when they think of you. Frog. So I'm getting, you may have had to help them through a trial. You may have been supportive of them while they went on trial for something. Potato. If you adopted them, or if you advocated for them, this really is something that they think about a lot. We've got the horse. Oops, it's a frog. If you guys played Frogger at all, that's a memory for them. If you went, maybe your favorite animal is a horse or a frog, and that makes them think of you. Or you played the basketball game Horse, went horseback riding, caught frogs in the rain, did gardening. And potatoes are very sturdy, Okay, so give us a card to explain the jury. The King of Swords. You were really a supportive figure during the legal process. Whether you were actively a part of the legal process, or we got the Emperor and then the Three of Pentacles in reverse. You may have had to talk to an attorney or a caseworker, and they remember those conversations, or they remember you stepping in, giving them a pep talk before going to trial for something. Leaps and bounds is what I'm hearing with the frog. The Emperor with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Learning how to take initiative, right? When other people aren't stepping in, they aren't cooperating. You fought for this person. Or you were a person who came into their life who just treated them so differently from other people. Potato, the Page of Wands in reverse. I'm just getting like secrets. Things growing beneath the surface that never took action. You might have shared some secrets with them. Group number 3, and they think about those a lot. They don't tell anybody, but they think about them. And then the horse with the 9 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I'm really getting like some of you went on like horseback rides, trail rides with this person. You went to the zoo, watched horses, and that was something that was really calming for them. Volunteered with animals. Okay, and a message, a brief message that they want to give to you. What does this person, got the Devil here. The 7 of Coins, the Tower in reverse, the Knave of Wands in reverse, and Death in reverse. Lots of major arcana cards here. Why do we have the Devil card here? Feeling like they... Knight of Cups. The Sun. The 7 of Cups. The Hermit in reverse. The Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay. Your actions really stuck with them. Group number 3, they may really made an imprint on them, and like they kind of feel maybe bound by their past or their circumstances, but they feel compelled to move. So there's this shift that's happening in them, and they're working towards a brighter future. This is somebody who could be working on getting clean from addiction, could be seeking therapy for mental illness. Somebody who could be looking at the injustices of the legal system, or like adoptive or foster care, and they're actually working towards becoming an advocate for other people. Because they feel like things have the potential to crumble, but they see the ways in which it can become stabilized. And so they're hesitant on how to take action. Like they're not making a move yet, but they're gathering information, and they're trying to do things carefully and slowly and deliberately, because they understand that nothing changes if we don't go on the journey. So the impact that you made on this person's life is tremendous. They're either going to be making a huge like personal change to themselves or their life, or they are working on being able to help facilitate a change on a greater scale. If that's where I'm going to leave you guys. If that reading resonated with you, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be part of the family and haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. If you are interested in a private reading, I offer that. Just send me a list of, look for my my contact information in the description box down below. Send me a list of services. Send me a list of your services. I get off track and this is what happens. Just send me an email. I'll send you a list of my services. I'm here all night, guys. I'm here all night. I'm here every day, actually. This is the ether. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.